What's up, guys? So we finally got the big announcement for NASCAR Heat 5. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about the future, which is next gen consoles and the next games after this. So the trailer came out. It is a very basic teaser trailer. There's nothing in the trailer that really shows off anything about the game. And there's a reason for that. Those of you who do watch my videos know that I've been telling you guys repeatedly not to expect much from this game. I told you that I think it's going to be pretty much NASCAR Heat 4 with a little, couple of tweaks here and there and an updated roster. I guess an up-to-date, paint schemes. So if they had anything more to show, they would have really shown it. So the the teaser trailer for me did nothing. It's not even worth talking about. Then there's a list here that I'm looking at of features. It looks like it's a part of the box, or I'm not sure where this is from. Okay, but all right. The first thing, it says official tracks. 34 officially licensed tracks for you to race across the various series, including Daytona, Indianapolis, Talladega, plus 5 fictional dirt tracks. In other words, the same thing we already had in the past couple games, so that doesn't change. Why list? See, I'm not upset because I know this is what we were getting. So I'm not surprised, and I don't want people to take it like, oh, I'm upset about it. This is what I knew it would be, which I'll talk a little bit about more about why. But why list things that are already a major part of the game? You're talking about the tracks that are in the game. It's like, no shit. It's a NASCAR game. When you list obvious shit like that, all it does is highlight the fact that there's nothing new in the game. So this is not, I'm not trying to bash these guys. I'm trying to help you that you might think this helps the marketing, but it doesn't. It actually you're just reminding people of how little is really new in the game. It's like saying, hey, we have steering wheels, you'll be able to drive these cars. It's like, come on, this is the most basic stuff. To list that as part of your features, that's I don't like that. Like, I wouldn't do that. I would just be more. You got to be more upfront with people. I think that it's a small community, but we are a passionate community. I don't think you have to worry about people just walking away and giving up completely if you're honest with them. But when you try to, you know, market things like it's try to make it sound like more exciting than it is, if you really don't have anything substantial to talk about, they're not stupid. So when you read that, it's like, come on, it's just insulting. The next thing is challenge mode. Brand new challenge mode offers race scenarios to complete while online challenges vary the gameplay. It just sounds to me like more of these challenges, but some of this is going to be part of the online. I'm not really sure how to take that. Okay, that's something new, I guess. I'm not excited about that. Esports support. Take part in the NASCAR Heat Pro League qualifiers for a chance to race for a real life NASCAR team. Once again, they're doing something I don't like this stuff. I'm not going to make too big of a deal out of it, but I talked about this last year. Uh, these games, they're just, or at least, especially this year, it's just a pass to play online. If you want to be part of this pro league stuff, and let's say you say, I don't want to buy this game, it's the same thing, I'll just stick with NASCAR Heat 4. Well, guess what? If you want to participate in this esports pro league shit, you can't. The only way to do it is to buy the game. So they're kind of, it's kind of a way to force you to buy the next game just to have the permission to participate. That's basically what you're going to spend your money on. That stuff kind of bothers me. And it's really not just, I'm not just talking about, NASCAR games or this developer or anything like that. This is the way the gaming industry is just steering towards. It's more and more and more online and less offline. The next GTA 6, Grand Theft Auto GTA 6, um, it might be the first time I'm not as excited about a GTA game ever, um, because it's going to be mostly geared towards online. Because they made such a fucking killing with GTA Online that they don't really care as much about offline. The story's going to be a lot shorter, and the entire game's going to be more or less tied to online somehow. I don't want to get too deep into that. That's not what this video is about, but just giving you an example of how online gaming is really destroying offline. Now, I don't want to get too carried away with this because I'll talk more about that after. Let me just get past this, today's news. Uh, then the next thing says exclusive content. Tony Stewart Gold Edition features an exclusive selection of cars and spotter audio. Again, more of what they did with NASCAR Heat 4. This whole gold package versus regular package, and the gold package you could get 3 days earlier. It's like these are all things that to me uh, highlight the fact that there's nothing real substantial with the game. And they're doing everything they can to get you to spend a few extra bucks for what, a gold package, and you get a exclusive selection of cars and a spotter audio. I mean, it's just really not worth it to me. I'll wait the extra 3 days. And then there's a new testing mode. This is probably the best of what's been announced. Again, very small baby step feature. Perfect your racing lines and experiment to find the best setup for each track. Yeah, a testing mode, something that we should have had from the first game. This is a very, very basic feature. It's basically uh, practice without AI on the track. That's what it is. Um, should have had it from the beginning. Again, this is what NASCAR fans have been accustomed to every year. We're getting these baby steps, and it's like it never feels like you're gonna get that really substantial leap, and they're still far behind in terms of modern day sports titles. But that's pretty much the extent of the news today and the release date, which is July 10 for the regular package. And if you're going to spend the extra on the gold package, you'll get it 3 days sooner on the 7th of July. So that's pretty much 2 months sooner than, or 3 months. I don't remember, was it September or October? In either case, it's a couple months earlier, which is good. My main hope is that getting this game out sooner, just get it out the way, and we'll be done with it. And that these guys can hopefully move on to the next gen. Um, that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to. I already know what this game is. I'm going to support it for a couple of reasons. This is a developer that is undergoing a lot of big changes. I know that some of you might think, oh, you're making excuses. Well, it's a reality, right? Some things are excuses, but really, uh, this new group of people bought the company. Uh, we don't know who's still there from the old 704. They're developing the game in-house, and they're going to move on to a new game engine, and they're going to build the game from scratch for the following game. That's a lot of work. And they were in the middle of hiring. They had a specific goal of hiring a certain amount of people for key positions. And this whole crisis that we're going through right now is, Excuse me for a second. Right. This whole crisis that we're going through right now has affected every business on the planet in one way, shape, or form. So even though a lot of the stuff that they do can be done remotely, a lot of these guys can work from home, things like that, there's still things that are going to be affected. Also, we don't really know how many people they've been able to hire, how, where are they in that, you know, in that part of the business. So they're trying to build their workforce and get all their spots filled, and there's a lot of things going on. It's not just the actual sitting down and working on the games. It's the business side of things that is probably a little chaotic right now. We don't really know much about what's going on there, and a lot of this stuff we're not going to find out because it's not really our business. They have to get their shit together in terms of on the business side of things. So I am sympathetic to that. And that's why I'm not really that upset with this. And this is exactly what I've been telling you guys. Don't expect a lot. Those of you who've been wanting that update for NASCAR Heat 4, to up for the season and all that stuff, well, this is your update. Unfortunately, it's at the cost of a new game, but it is what it is. They can't really operate this business and not have any income. So they got to do something to generate income. And I'm looking at this as a mulligan. I'm willing to give this to them and say, hey, I'm going to support this game, me personally, right? I am not going to tell people you should go and buy this. If you think this is not worth your money, I don't blame you. And I do not support this business model as a norm. It's just that in this one particular case, with everything that's going on and this changeover going on at the company, I'm choosing to support it. I did speak to Steve Hood personally, and he assured me that they understand that the career mode and the offline stuff is really important, that they haven't forgotten that they are looking towards the future. They really want to build up this franchise to what it should be, what we've been wanting. So I'm not saying that, I have to judge them based on what I see. So I'm willing to give them this mulligan and just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to support the game. I want this company to do well, but it's vital that the next gen game that they release has to check off all the major boxes in terms of being a fully fleshed out game. We cannot keep doing this every year, and we can't keep expecting people to support a business that doesn't provide even the most basic features of a sports title. So they get a pass for now from me, okay? I don't speak for everyone. And I totally understand people who say, why am I going to get this? The problem is, if you happen to be one of these, hold on a second, one of these people who like spending time online, whether you're part of this pro league stuff or not, well, the problem is when you don't buy the next game, you're going to end up in a bunch of empty lobbies. There's just going to be a handful of people there because most of these people are going to move on. And a lot of these people are participating in this pro league stuff. So they're forced to get this game. And then those people who choose not to get it, really, if you spend any time online, it's not going to be fun. I mean, it's not fun now, in my opinion, but for those of you who do enjoy these rec fests with a bunch of people online, these random lobbies, well, guess what? You're going to have a lot less people to play with. So in a way, it sucks, but you're going to have to buy the game if you want to be part of that. Again, me personally, I'm just going to ride this out because I do want these guys to get to a point where they get the business where it needs to be and they can finally focus on the next gen. Now, as far as the next gen goes, like I said, it's got to be a fully fleshed out game. It's got to be, you know, you can't come back and be like what happened with NASCAR Heat Evolution. It's like, okay, you only got this year, we got to build towards things in the future. No, man. Uh, if you have to take extra time, then take extra time. Uh, the hardest game is always the first game because they have to build all the assets. You have, I mean, listed here is 34 tracks. Uh, so that's a lot of tracks to build, and they have to be rendered properly. And we're talking next gen, so they have to be up to standard of what's expected. And then you got the car models. Also, next gen cars are coming in 2021 or 22, I believe. It's been pushed off, but I'm sure NASCAR will work with 704 to give them all the information available for these next gen cars to be able to do what they need to do. But there isn't a lot of information to the public about these next gen cars for NASCAR. So there's a lot really that they're gonna have their hands full, right? But that's not an excuse to repeat NASCAR Heat Evolution and just give us tracks and cars and then say, well, there's nothing else in the game. It's just, here you go for now. You can't do that again. People, a large part of your fan base or your consumer base has been going through this repetitive cycle of disappointments since 2011 with Eutechnics. I still bring up Eutechnics all the time because I do consider them part of this current problem with NASCAR games that we've had throughout the past decade. Getting substandard games that disappoint and always leave out major features. We can't do that again. So that next gen game has to come out on fire. Uh, so, I'll talk more about that in the future. I'll keep putting out ideas and things like that. But for now, like I said, this is pretty much an update to NASCAR Heat 4. It's going to feel a lot like it. You're going to hear people disappointed and complaining, but honestly, you should have known because of all the changes in the company and releasing the game sooner, which I love because the sooner they can release this game, the sooner they can move on. And this can be just something they leave behind and start completely focusing on next gen. Obviously, they're still going to have to support this game in terms of, any bugs or glitches they may have to patch or things like that. But the one thing I don't want to hear, and I know I'm probably setting myself up for disappointment, is I don't want to fucking hear about DLC paint schemes for this shit. Just move on, man. Release this and put all your effort towards next gen. Put all your effort towards addressing all the issues that you have within the company, with getting this company built up and operating, the way you need it to. There's a lot. These guys do have a lot on their plate. I am rooting for these guys. We're not getting another developer. This is why I don't waste my time with that stuff. You still get people all the time. I wish EA would come back, or I wish Codemasters would take it. That's not happening. This is in the hands of 704 for the foreseeable future. So I'm choosing to support them as much as I can. But, once I see that it's just not, if I don't see a real difference in terms of the way they operate or the type of stuff we're getting every year, if we're still going through the same baby steps and that's going to be a problem for me. But we don't have anybody else. These are the guys. They have to make it or break it. And, there's some bright spots. Steve Hood and other people that are part of 704 now and this Operation Motorsports. I'm sorry, I kind of forgot, but this company that's taken over. a lot of these guys, or at least some of them, did come from Codemasters. So obviously they're going to understand what a properly developed racing title should be like. A lot of us still talk about NASCAR Thunder 2004. Yes, we love that game. A lot of nostalgia. They did a lot of things right. But I want to kind of get away from that because let's be honest, we're talking about a 15-year-old game, and as great as it was at the time, it's really not enough in terms of modern day standards. If I'm gonna start talking about comparisons to what we should get in a NASCAR game today, I really am looking towards Codemasters Formula One series. That is a great series. They do check off all the major boxes of what it should be, and it's a great series, and you don't walk away feeling like, hey, this is substandard stuff. So I'm hoping that they start mimicking what Codemasters is doing with the Formula One series. Yes, 2004 Thunder, great NASCAR game, but it's 15 years ago, and that game wouldn't hold up today. It really wouldn't, right? So we don't, yeah, in terms of a template for the career mode, yeah, those ideas are good, but you gotta modernize everything, and everything's gotta be up to snuff. Which, if you look at the Formula One series, they kind of do that. You got the presentation, you got fully fleshed out career, deep, immersive, stats, everything I've been asking for is part of that series. So I'm hoping the fact that these guys have that DNA and lineage from Codemasters, that it rubs off on the way this new developing company that is still called 704. I'm hoping it rubs off on them, and I am really going to judge these guys based on the next gen, which I'm hoping, I got to be honest, if they're going to do it the right way, it's going to take time. And I'm willing to wait. If it takes an extra, 6 months to a year, so be it. I don't want to hear like, oh, 2021, we're getting the next gen NASCAR game like for February or whatever, which is the best date, of course, because of the Daytona 500. That's where they should sort of aim as a release date in the future. But give me a second. All right. That's what I'm hoping they're aiming for as a release date. It should coincide with the NASCAR season. But I don't want to. It's a bad sign if they end up announcing a game for like 2021. I know most of you guys don't want to wait long. You want a game as soon as possible, but that's going to be a bad sign. It's gonna indicate that they didn't spend the proper amount of time to work on the game. And unless you're willing to get another NASCAR Heat Evolution on your hands, that's, you don't want that. And I'd rather they take their time and really put all their effort to making sure that that next gen title is everything we've ever wanted. And you can do that and then still have plenty of room to improve in the future. But I am going to judge them. And I'm going to be tough on these guys if they don't deliver in the next gen. But for this NASCAR Heat 5, it is what I knew it would be. And, yeah, they might announce a few more features before the game comes out, like the deeper stats and things like that. But you're not going to get blown away by anything. And it's pretty evident that this game is pretty much just a minor update to NASCAR Heat 4. I'm not mad about it. It is what it is. I knew this was coming a long time ago. And, I am leaning towards being sympathetic to the company because of all the other outside issues. you couldn't expect more than this from these guys. So just release the game. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm not getting the edition. I'll wait the 3 extra days, and I'll get the game, and I'll play it. It can't be worse than NASCAR Heat 4. NASCAR Heat 4, in all fairness, is not a horrible game. The AI is really good. It's better than any NASCAR game we've ever had before. Um, so the AI makes the racing pretty entertaining. And it's the first time I've played a NASCAR game in a long time, this deep into the development cycle. NASCAR Heat 3, I kind of just stopped playing by this point. But NASCAR Heat 4, I still play. I play it a lot. And the races are still challenging and entertaining and fun. And yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement with the physics handling and even the AI. So hopefully they tweaked on that a little bit, but it is a pretty decent racer. The career mode is really just uh, that's where it gets really old fast. Um, it's not worth continuing to do the career mode. I just do one-off races now mostly. Um, but it's not going to be a terrible game because it's just modeled after NASCAR Heat 4. So I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna support these guys, but you got that. That's your mulligan. A lot depends on the decisions you make towards the next gen. So you're gonna be held to a much higher standard after this. Those are my thoughts. If there's any other news that pops up, I'll talk about it then. Let me know. What do you guys think about the trailer? These quote unquote features. Are you gonna get the game? And what do you think about what I've been talking about concerning the next gen? I look forward to your comments later.